Go ahead.
Hey everybody, Jade here with Jasper County Conservation. Today we're going to be talking about some turtles. So here we have Franklin. He is a box turtle. Franklin is native in Iowa. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of these guys in the wild. He's very active this morning. We don't see a lot of them anymore just because their habitat is slowly decreasing due to farming and urbanization. But Franklin here, he's a pretty happy guy. We've had him in the Conservation Department for 15 years now. Typically in the wild, they can live up to 100 years, but in captivity they live around 30 to 40 years. So we don't really know his exact age because he was donated to us, but we have had him for 15 years. But he's still very active. As you can see, he's wanting to crawl away here. Some fun things about the box turtle is that they have a domed carapace, and then their plastron, which is this bottom part, it actually has a hinge on it so that he can go into his shell. Turtles can't come out of their shell completely, but they can go into their shell for safety. So he uses that hinge to close up if he feels like he is unsafe. Franklin here, he is an omnivore, which means he's going to eat bugs. He loves to eat worms and crickets. He loves bananas, carrots, grapes, blueberries. Those are all of his favorite yummy foods. He also hibernates. So we've had him for 15 years and he's never hibernated. This last winter, he actually hibernated for the first time. In the wild, they naturally hibernate around October. They dig a big burrow in the ground, and then they get all snuggy in the dirt. And from there, they wait it out till about April, and then they come out and they are ready for the day. Franklin here, he started hibernating around November, and he just came out last week. So he is ready to get going for some programs. So this is Franklin, our box turtle. So Franklin here, like we said, he is a boy. And one way to tell that a box turtle is male or female is by looking at the color of their eyes. And so if you look really close, see if he'll come out here. His eyes are actually a red-orange color, and that red-orange means that he is a male. If he were a female, they would kind of have a brown, a light brown color. And so that's one of the ways that we can tell that Mr. Franklin here is a male. I'm also going to show you that hinge that I had talked about right here. And it's that hinge that allows him to close his shell. Oh, he's very happy right now. He's wanting to move. He's been hibernating all winter and he needs to go, go, go. You can also see his awesome nails here. He uses that to dig his holes. He loves to dig a nice comfy little hole, and then he gets all snuggy in there, and that's where he takes his naps. Next we have Myrtle. This is Myrtle the turtle. Myrtle is a painted turtle. She is also very active. She's kind of sniffing around here. Painted turtles are very common in Iowa, especially any body of water, any ponds, any little lakes, streams. These guys are going to be all over. A lot of times you'll see them basking in the sun, sometimes basking with each other. Myrtle here, she does hibernate as well in the wild. She doesn't here with us, but if she were in the wild, she would go under the water into the mud, and there she would wait out the winter. When she is in the mud, she actually drops her heart rate down really, really, really slow. And so she actually breathes from the oxygen in the mud, which is really cool. And then in the spring, when it gets nice and warm and she's ready, she's going to come out of the mud and start her new adventure in the spring. Some fun things about Miss Myrtle here is you can see her really sharp claws. She uses those for digging. Myrtle is also an omnivore and loves worms. Sometimes she eats 3 worms in a row. She's very, very hungry. Myrtle here also loves to bask in the sun here at the office. So here's a close-up of Miss Myrtle. You can see that she's kind of hiding in her shell. Again, turtles, they can't come out of their shell. Their shell is part of them. It's attached to their spine right here. But they can hide in it if they do feel threatened. She's kind of peeking her head out. Normally she's very socially active. She's a very, very social butterfly. She loves to watch people. Oh, here she comes. So Miss Myrtle here, you can see the color on her shell. Again, on her plastron, this bottom part of the shell. She's called a painted turtle because it looks like somebody painted all over it. And if you notice, her shell right here is actually kind of murky. That means that she's going to be shedding her scales and she's going to be growing. Recently, we put Miss Myrtle here in a new habitat that's a lot bigger. So she has been shedding her scales a lot because she has more room to grow. And here is a shell, or her scale, that she has. It's a little murky, but these fall off when she gets bigger. Just like we need new clothes when we get bigger and we grow out of them, she has to have a bigger shell to accommodate her growing body. So that's when her shell, the scales, that's when they fall and they shed. Now she's really happy and active right now. Okay. Our next turtle we have here is Toothless. This is Toothless, our snapping turtle. He's hiding currently. So Toothless was actually donated to us. Toothless has a brother, Fury. Toothless here. These guys are the largest turtle that we have in Iowa. They can get pretty big. He will be this small for several years. When they're this small, their shell, their carapace, is actually really, really soft. And this is when they're the most volatile. So this is when they could get eaten by big fish. Other animals could eat them. So at this stage, he's really sensitive. He just started eating worms this week. And he'll slowly get bigger and bigger. Snapping turtles, actually, compared to the other turtles that I showed you, their tummies, this plastron part doesn't cover their whole body. It just covers a small area, and they're the only turtles in Iowa that doesn't have a full plastron that covers their tummy. Snapping turtles also have a really long neck, so they're able to reach out and grab things with their sharp beak and their sharp claws. If you find a snapping turtle crossing the road, the safest thing to do is to actually shoo it away. A lot of people think that you want to grab their tails, but their tails are actually connected to their spine here. So if you grab their tail really hard and start pulling, it's actually going to hurt them and it could do a lot of damage. So the best thing to do is to just shoo them with a broom or a car mat. And you want to help move them in the direction that they were going in. Another reason why we don't want to pick up snapping turtles if we are trying to help them is because of their long neck. So they actually can reach out and come around and grab your arms. And that would be no fun. So these guys are really, really, really interesting. They're actually very slow. Most people think that snapping turtles are going to be super fast and aggressive. Snapping turtles are very slow, and they actually hunt dead animals. They'll hunt small fish when they get bigger. Sometimes they'll hunt small mammals if they're on land. But again, since they're so slow, they tend to wait for their prey to come to them. A fun fact about all of these turtles is that they lay eggs. And the eggs that they lay, the sex of the egg whether it's male or female, can actually be determined by how warm it is. If it's about 84 degrees or hotter, those are going to be female turtles. But anything lower are typically a male turtle. So we call that temperature sex determination. Now, he's coming out a little bit. He's thinking about it. He's also very stinky. Oh, we might get a look at his neck here. See his nails. They're very, very soft right now and pliable, but as he gets older, they're going to become really thick and very sharp. And those nails are going to help him be able to dig and hibernate as well, just like our other turtle friends, but they're also going to be able to help him protect himself. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening about turtles and meeting all of our turtle friends. Hopefully we'll be able to post some more videos of our animals that we have here at Jasper County Conservation, and we hope you are staying safe and staying home.